Women of Reddit, what did a man you were dating or married to say or do that made you realize he actually hated you the entire time?
Hindsight is 20/20, but I feel like the moment I knew he couldn't care less about me. My likes and my hobbies was when I tested for my black belt in Kung Fu. After years and years of blood, sweat, and tears, I finally reached the day of the big test. It was an all-day process of going through several drills, skills, forms, hand-to-hand, and weapon demonstrations. I'd asked my SDBX to come cheer me on. He showed up after work, towards the end of the day. He maybe watched the last few series of kicking drills. After that, the masters convened, and we were all unanimously promoted and decorated with our belts. The first words out of his mouth were how disappointed he was. He was worried I wouldn't make it because I barely made it through my last series of kicks, after 5-6 hours of intense testing. He made a comment about how getting the belt was like receiving a participation trophy. I tried to shrug it off and suggested we go out for dinner to celebrate my accomplishment. The entire rest of the evening, he spent ranting how disappointed he was in the state of martial arts, how he thought Kung Fu was supposed to mean something, that you were supposed to fight for the belts. What was supposed to be a celebration turned into a monologue and lecture about how my accomplishment didn't mean anything, and an entire evening of his tearing one of my favorites pastimes completely apart. I should have walked away then. Most days I wish I had. It would have saved me from a lot of heartache. But at the end of the day, he was a lesson I needed to learn. The hard way, which today I can proudly say I have, and came out on the other side stronger. Piece of advice: when you're dating and the other person shows you who they are, believe them.
He would get bothered anytime someone would say something nice about me. For example, my friend was announcing at a dinner with all our friends how proud of me she was for going to law school and working so hard. She wanted to do a cheers to my accomplishments. My boyfriend loudly interrupted her and told her to stop talking. There was an awkward pause and the table just moved on. I was embarrassed and pissed. After dinner, I asked him why our friend can't do a cheers for me, and he said it would make our other friends feel badly about themselves, and the right thing to do was to stop her. Mind you, this was a group of Americans on a European vacation with jobs like engineer, carpenter, high-end real estate agent, etc. I'm still completely unsure how people with careers and enough resources to go on international vacation would feel badly about themselves because one of their friends is going to law school. The reality is that he just hated to see me celebrated.
When asked in marriage counseling to list 3 things he loved, appreciated, or liked about me, and after several minutes of painful silence, he said, "I appreciate that she cares so well for Son and I."
He never took pictures of me. It finally sank in when I watched a 1-week family vacation video he took and realized that every time I moved into frames, he moved away. Hundreds of times. He left me a year or 2 after.
He woke up for work before me every day. It was just our schedule. But every morning he was loud, and when it came time to put his shoes on, he would plop down on the bed, jolting me awake. I kept reminding him to not sit on the bed in the morning, because it wakes me up. He just started to sit down harder and more deliberate. It didn't occur to me that he was doing it on purpose, though. I thought he just kept forgetting, and I just had to help him to understand what I meant. He understood exactly what I meant and decided to just make it worse, because he just hated me. It took me a long time to understand everything. It just didn't occur to me that a person could intentionally be hateful like that. I was very naive. He did stuff like that all the time, every day. Just piles of microaggressions and compulsive lying in order to make me feel as guilty as possible. But I was just clueless and naive and thought it was all my own fault.
After 5+ years, he was stalling about getting married. He suggested we just have a child and not get married, and I just didn't feel safe doing that. He sneered at me with such contempt and said, "You really think you deserve the whole fairy tale?"
I was job hunting and wanted to apply for a higher position. When I shared that with my BF at the time, he made a face and said to me, "You are not smart enough to get that job." I was already having doubts of applying, and this kept replaying in my mind like a broken record, but I ended up interviewing for it out of spite, to prove he was wrong, and I got the job. The relationship crumbled down after that. Thankfully, I grew a spine from it and will not be a doormat in any of my relationships. A partner should lift you up and will be your biggest cheerleader. If that is not happening, you are in the wrong place.
He made jokes about how badly I tore during labor.
He requested an open marriage smack in the middle of my treatment for stage 3 breast cancer. I had just finished chemo a couple weeks before that, and we had taken a vacation to celebrate our wedding anniversary. I was going to start radiation a couple weeks after that. We were sitting in our hotel room, and he made the request. We'd been together for almost 15 years and have a kid. I left him 8 months later, and he admitted to me he was no longer in love with me and had resented me for a long time. The signs were there because he just completely stopped being affectionate. Never said I love you no matter how often I told him. Refused to hug me if I tried to hug him, and acted like me trying to give him a kiss on the cheek or lips was gross. Now I'm working with professionals, and it helped me realize I stayed with a man who didn't want me, because I was so emotionally beat down that I didn't think I deserved better or thought anybody else would tolerate me. I just wish I'd realized it sooner.
I thought it was an unspoken agreement between us that your feelings for me were stronger than my feelings for you.
That I was lucky to have him because no one else would put up with me. That I wasn't worth taking care of. That he couldn't have anything positive to say if I wasn't actually doing anything. By doing anything, he meant cooking and cleaning every day.
When we would argue if I would cry, he would watch me from several feet away with a cold smirk on his face, like he was satisfied with what he was seeing. It was like the mask would slip and I was not seeing the same person anymore. There were so many other things he actually said, but that was when I felt like how he could probably kill me right now and feel nothing at all.
I gave him a blowjob, and his immediate reaction was to tell me that he graded me a B.
I knew our marriage was over when a month and he hit me with, "Spending time with you feels like an obligation," made it a couple years, but it was just an obligation for me at that point too. Edit to add, I married a wonderful man who the other week he was out of town for work, and he told me that he just wanted to come home to the kids and me. If you are in a loveless marriage, there is hope on the other side.
Get really sick. How they feel about you will show.
We were dating, and he pulled me aside before hanging out with friends for the first time to remind me not to ever talk about the things I enjoyed because they were too embarrassing for him. I brushed it off at first, thinking he was just nervous to introduce me to his friends, but it was really the fact that I was too geeky and awkward. I was supposed to be sexy and make his buddies jealous, considering how the guys spent the whole time flaunting their girlfriends and getting way too touchy-feely. I was done after the second round of wannabe stripper club meetup, and my boyfriend was trying to get me to grind on him in front of his buddies. I now ex, after about 5 years, and a kid really started to be extremely critical of me. During an argument, he admitted to negging me because I was giving the baby too much attention, and he wanted me to want a /try to earn his affection. Like FFS, at the point I was like 2 months postpartum. Of course, I am giving the baby a pile of attention. Our shared child literally needs everything all the time. The relationship clearly did not last, but I got a pretty cool kid out of it.
My success angered him.
After we left a concert early that I was really excited for and paid front row tickets for because he was just being awful and I couldn't enjoy the concert, he screamed at me that his New Year's resolution was to never do anything for me again. I have blocked out worse things said. For instance, I wish I could smack you around, but I'm not allowed to do that. 5 years together, and I had to leave states to break up safely. You've always been more beautiful than intelligent. You've never been there for me. After I spent months helping him get diagnosed with a GI ailment that was causing him intense pain and keeping him from eating, then finding him a therapist to deal with his depression and get on his meds, working on ways to make him feel desirable and wanted when the meds made sex challenging for him, leaving work in the middle of the day or my house in the middle of the night because he was so depressed he left me chilling messages that made me worried for his safety, helping him sell his house. Moved twice in a year, walking his stupid untrained dog, helping him navigate his complex feeling when he learned he was adopted, offering to pay for a pie to try to find his birth parents, etc. The list is infinitely long. Yeah, never been there for him. He only wanted to be with me because I made his life easy, not because he cared about me or even wanted me for anything other than my hard work. I was just his bangmaid. After I told my ex I wanted a divorce, he told me he should have known to never date a single mother, and that he hated my son. For me, it was the persistent disdain disguised as humor. Everything I enjoyed was foolish. Everything I felt was overreaction, and somehow I was always the problem. You only come to understand its hatred when you see there is little to none left. Tolerance at best. He frequently told me he loved me, but over time it became apparent that he didn't like me very much. He didn't like the way I talked, the ideas I had, etc. I was blind to it for a long time, but when I was finally able to see reality, it was a very sad situation where I learned to suppress myself to keep him happy. That is a very difficult thing to unlearn.
I'm not excited to see you when I wake up in the morning. Okay, received.
Stopped inviting me when he would go hang out with his coupled friends. Like everyone brought their partner except for him. I remember sitting on the couch, just waiting for him to come home because I wanted to spend time with him. Anyway, he told a bartender, who happened to be a friend of mine, that I'm the only woman he ever loved like 10 years after we broke up, so I won in the end.
Way too long, literally me asking if he hated me and him explaining that he just hated all my individual character traits, but not me. Yeah, that was the end of that.
You should already be over it. It's been long enough. Speaking of my dad dying less than 6 months prior. It was also the day of my friend's funeral, who committed suicide, so I was a pretty sad puppy. It was the day my marriage died for sure. PD also told me less than a year before that, when I gained 60-70 pounds in a week due to renal failure. Yes, it happens that fast, that I should work out more. More than the 5 days I was already working out every week. With no concern whatsoever how weird it was I de-ballooned up like Blueberry Girl in Willy Wonka all of a sudden. My mama, God bless her, hopped on a goddamn plane so fast and saved my ass. Should have left then, but I didn't.
Ex-boyfriend would blatantly ignore me in front of our friends, then would half-heartedly beg me to give him another chance, that it wasn't how it seemed and I was imagining things. I had other friends that saw this going on and encouraged me to dump his ass while surrounding me in love. Heard from his next ex, girlfriend about a year later, and much like his girlfriend before me was bad-mouthing my character. She met me once and knew he was full of it. It's pretty tame compared to everyone else, but it doesn't always escalate. Partner can be awful without being physical.
We had a pretty serious argument